Hi, Dave Youngquist, Michigan Toy Soldier. Today I just wanted to cover some basic prep tools for modeling. Now, all modelers are going to have some of the emery board type files in their toolbox. These are great and they have multitudes of applications. But we had discovered a couple months ago at a hobby show these really cool sanding needles, and we just brought them into Michigan Toy Soldier. What's neat about these is they allow you to get into really fine areas that you couldn't with an emery board, as you can see. They're very neat. They come in fine, medium, and coarse styles, and they also come in a variety pack, which might be a good way for you to start. But I've been using these constantly since we discovered them. The other thing is the Swizzle stick sanders. Now, it's basically just a cut down emery board, but what's nice about them being so small, it allows you again to get into areas that you couldn't with a larger sanding stick. Okay, so why do we carry so many different kinds of primers at Michigan Toy Soldier? Well, number one, the color of the primer that you choose is going to affect the final outcome. A white primer, for example, is used for painters who really want their colors to pop. Gray, which I typically use, is a really good neutral base for either light or dark colors. The black primers typically are used by guys painting in very small scale because it'll actually pre-shade the figure. Now, if you're working in 1/72nd scale or 1/32nd scale softer plastics, I highly recommend the Rust-Oleum plastic primer. This is about the only primer I've found that really adheres and dries on those type of figures. My personal favorites are the primers made by Gunzi. They make a number of different primers in different grit levels, their number 1200 being the finest, my personal favorite. Now, Tamiya makes some very nice primers also, and they also make a primer specifically for metal, which is very cool. If you're doing metal figurines, photo etch, what have you. Vallejo, who makes all the fantastic acrylic paints, makes a number of different colors, and again, very, very nice. The Army Painter is a bit different. They're really designed for the guy building large armies because they must make at least 12 different colors, which will give you a great start in painting, a giant mass of men. The Armory Primer is probably the least expensive primer on the market and very good again for doing wargaming type of figures. The primers from Model Master and Flowquill have been around for a while. They have many different fans and they again come in many different finishes. Finally is Automotive Primer. If you work in some of the older vinyl kits, like the large scale kits by Horizon or Billiken, Auto Primer is really the only product that's going to work. Please don't use these, they'll never dry properly. That's it for primers. We'll see you soon.